Hello, and welcome to Zelda the Minish Cap. I am joined
Also
by
known
my
as-
friend Alex and Angelo. I am Travis.
This in Japan is called, translates directly to Zelda and the Wonderful Hat.
I know, I saw that when I was doing research. I fucking love that name.
It's wonderful.
It is.
Oh, he does have a really wonderful hat in this game.
I was looking up, for, artwork for us to use as a thumbnail, and, a lot of them were just the hat screaming at Link. And I'm really happy that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's how wonderful it is. It constantly screams at Link.
I made a hat that screams. Why?
At least it's not as bad as Morgana. At least this hat doesn't tell Link to go the fuck to sleep.
No.
Now, I'm curious, and I think we'll see it as time goes on. How active is your companion character in this game in terms of, bothering you?
Honestly, it's been a while since I played it, so I don't really remember.
At the beginning, it's what you'd expect from, a Navi or Midna character, but it's more like a Midna than it is Navi. He'll come out when he needs to, and when something major happens, he'll be like, hey, you should probably do this, or we should go check out this, and that's about it. He really doesn't intrude or anything crazy. And here's Zelda. Say hi to Zelda.
Hello, Zelda. Hi guys, I'm an alcoholic.
Is that collecting a blob of Zelda? I can't tell. He's got a bet.
It's all good. Oh, hey, Mask the Smith.
So, interesting thing about this game, this is one of the few Zelda games that was outsourced to Capcom.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
How many was 3 in total that were outsourced around this time?
There was Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and
Was Four Swords gone?
I'm gonna have to look.
Depends on which one you're talking about. Bit of a thing about Oracle of Ages and Seasons. In this game, there are 3 oracles. However, you can only find houses for 2 of them, and that's a reference to the fact that there were originally going to be 3 Oracle games. However, the 3rd one was never made.
Yep, you are correct.
Yeah. Thank you, Digital Gaming.
You're welcome.
No shit. And to answer your question, Angelo, the 3... Oop, can you guys still see that? Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The games that Capcom did are Oracle of Ages, Seasons, Link to the Past port, along with Four Swords, and then, of course, the Minish Cap.
Oh, really? I remember most of these Capcom Zelda games are actually quite good. They're liked by the fan base.
Yeah.
I guess.
Now, was it a collaboration or was it an outsourcing?
That, I'm not sure.
Because Monolith collaborated for Breath of the Wild, but they were mainly in charge of asset creation. Just like how Platinum collaborated with them on Star Fox Zero. They were also in charge of asset creation. To be fair, I don't know why you'd choose Platinum for asset creation. I just want to point that out. Their games tend to be kind of ugly.
Because they didn't know how to make games, alright?
Alright.
Star Fox Zero, best Star Fox. Everyone will say that.
I was
Come
thinking...
on,
Okay,
Alex.
I've been thinking a lot lately about how to emulate games like that. Specifically Star Fox Zero and Skyward Sword. Because we have access now to a lot more tools, and those games are fucking gorgeous.
For Skyward Sword, the best way to emulate that is bind the motion plus to the mouse and play it like that, so you don't have to deal with the shitty motion controls. And also, we're on our way to a cool festival, which I love the fucking music of.
Nice. I listen close when it comes up, but I love how expressive the sprites are, by the way.
Yeah.
But
they did a good job translating the Wind Waker sprites, or the Wind Waker expressiveness of Link into sprites.
Did this come out around when time Wind Waker came out?
It was
Wind
post Wind
Waker
Waker.
came out in 2002, and this came out in 2004.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. This, I think it was this, Four Swords. This, Four Swords, Triforce Heroes, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and maybe one other game all used the Toon Link art style.
Yep.
Or the Toon Link characters in their artwork and in game. Which I'm a really big fan of. I personally really like that style.
I do as well. I love Toon Link. He's my boy. He's a cutie.
I didn't like the bobbleheads at first, to be perfectly honest with you. Still kind of don't, but they grown on me with age.
Yeah.
I think what Wind Waker did for like that, like you can see and you can see it in the side-by-side comparison of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. And like the main thing that the Wind Waker graphics achieved was because you had larger facial expressions, it was easier to animate it and make the characters like show their emotions and stuff like that. They took a previously blank slate of a character and gave them a lot of expression and emotion, you know?
Yep.
So that's what you do with certain protagonists. In games, to give them something, make them expressive.
So basically what we're doing in-game is we're at a festival for these beings known as the Picori that we'll learn about later. And what the Picori are basically Minish. They're another name for the Minish. And what's coming up now I call rigged because Zelda's the princess. I'm gonna call shenanigans on this right now.
I'm gonna call it a class struggle.
No shit.
You get a heart piece, or a heart container. Yeah, and like if you look at Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, once the graphical technology has improved, they were able to really, actually like let the realistic proportion Link express himself, and you can see a lot in Breath of the Wild, especially.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they were able to express themselves in regular proportion. Like they were able to express themselves in the earlier Zelda games, like Majora's Mask. Then again, most of those expressions were expressions of pain, but
Expressions of pain or exacerbation. I don't think it was until Wind Waker that they really got the expressiveness down, because Link has a lot of really... Dang it, Angela. Really good expressions.
So they get that may be why they added
if people didn't realize, I'm on my phone right now and I turned off notifications.
No, it's fine.
I probably should have done that before recording, but
it's all good.
Oh well. Shit
do what we can. We are vintage. Anyways,
hopefully that doesn't sound awful to whoever's listening to this.
Yeah.
No, I
actual
can.
Video.
I can lower the decibelage a bit and check and post and see how that sounds. It shouldn't be that bad.
Fair enough.
All right.
So basically, now what we're doing is we got that sword to go deliver to the tournament winner, and that's where we're going right now. And here's one of our friends from early Zelda games, the Deku Scrub, shooting his nut all over Zelda. What a classy gent.
Actually,
Business scrub.
are
That's wonderful.
Deku usually in? I can't really think of any appearances of Deku outside of the Wind Waker, Majora's Mask.
Well, they're in Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, this, and I think that's actually it.
Previously, they were mainly Octoroks, and then in the 3D games, Octoroks became the aquatic variant.
Yes.
And something that Ocarina did really well was give a lot of meaning to classic Zelda ideas. Like the Zora was previously an enemy type, and then it got expanded upon to become an entire race. Now this got tied into the later 2D games, such as this and Link Between Worlds. They did a really good job with that. I was also thinking about the way that these games stories are told versus how they're presented in things like Hyrule Historia. And Demon's Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne also do this. But it's the idea that these games are simply stories of a world, and they are not like an overarching narrative.
Yeah, they're not connected in a timeline of.
I think,
and I prefer that honestly more than the timeline. I like the timeline and arguments to piss people off, but I think it's stupid. I'm gonna I'm gonna out that right now. The timeline's dumb.
Well, I think what it does is
It creates
it's there
structure where structure isn't needed, which is
So-
fine, but at the same time,
This game's interesting for doing something which I like to call the midichlorians, the midichlorians trope, where it's the idea that an artist needs to explain every little thing. But I feel like this game kind of does it just for fun. So the things that Minish Cap adds to the Zelda lore in terms of explanation are the simplest, most inconsequential things, but it's great because of it.
Yeah.
Specifically, the hat and the placement of items are
Yep.
both explained in this game. As we can see right here, Link is not wearing his hat. He's wearing a rather fashionable top knot. Later on, he will be receiving a new cap.
ah
and
shit, here we go. It's the best
we
villain
have-
ever.
Here we have better than Ganon number 2.
I love
And one of
Vati.
the few games that he's in.
Spoiler alert, his name's Vati. Sorry for all the people who've never played this before.
He went on to make a really good Dark Souls lore channel after this game. He's really moved up in the world. That's where I went with it, yeah.
It's a shame that they don't use different villains in most Zelda games. Use just Ganon or
Yeah, it
Ganon
always falls
controlling
back to Ganon.
villain.
Because, I mean, even with Twilight Princess, as much as I dislike that game, it could have been fine with having Zant as the final boss. Like, you didn't need to bring
Yeah.
Ganon into it.
He has a 180 in character, but like about the 75%, 50% mark where the game shifts. He does like a 180 in character just in general. It completely changes, and it becomes the Ganon game, which is a shame. Sorry, not the 50% mark, more like the 75% mark where you're in the home when you're on the home run.
Yep.
Another game, other things like it's interesting because if you look at the 3D Zelda games, in order, you have a situation where each one has a somewhat unique take, has a somewhat unique villain. Or you have Ganondorf, then you have Skull Kid, then you have Ganondorf come back, but he's a completely different character.
Yeah.
Like he behaves very differently. His goals are very different. Skyward Sword has Girahim, and the end enemy being what is it? Nightmare Nemesis, something like that. Some kind of demon thing.
Demise.
It's Demise, which is basically just Ganon. Even him is showing Ganon in a different light, and that's kind of the biggest failing of Twilight Princess is the return to Ganondorf when we've already had him before.
Yeah.
He's way cool. He's way cooler in Twilight Princess, though.
Yeah.
Can't deny that.
And I'm going to have to cut this short because that's all we got time for today. Thank you for watching and have a great day.